Okay, so today we're going to be talking about law of the land and force in motion and mass. One thing that you do need to change on your table of contents, on page 13 of your table of contents, if you look up there, it should say force, motion, and mass. I know you probably had weight, but we're going to change that to mass. So on your table of contents, yep. Just go right to the front of your book on your table of contents and make that say mass, not weight. Who can tell me what the difference between weight and mass is? What is the difference between weight and mass, Micaiah?
Well, mass is the stuff inside of the object. The weight is how heavy it is.
Great first step. Excellent. She said the mass is how much stuff is in an object. That is the exact definition. That is perfect. Weight is actually the gravitational pull on all of that stuff. So why is it that your weight and your mass would be different on Earth as opposed to the moon? Well, let me ask you this way. Would your mass be the same on Earth and on the moon? Mass is the amount of stuff in an object. Would your mass be the same on Earth as it is in the moon? Let me ask you this. What is the stuff that's in you? Bones, fat. Unfortunately, we do have fat. What else? Organs, fluids. Notice none of you said brain, and I understand why, but I do have mine. So let me ask you this. If you were to leave here on Earth and go back to your hometown, which is Mars or the moon, because you're all aliens, and myself and Miss Simons are from Earth, and you are not, because you're teenagers, and teenagers aren't from Earth. But if you were to leave this Earth and go to the moon, do you still have your bones, your blood, your brain? So is your mass the same on Earth as it is on the moon? Absolutely. Your mass would be the same. You still have the same amount of stuff. Would your weight be the same on Earth as it is on the moon? No, why? No gravity. Remember, weight is the gravitational pull. I would love to go to Mars, the moon, and weigh myself because then I'll be a lot lighter. Right? Then I can say, oh, I lost a lot of weight. Any questions about that? Okay. So then in studying the law of the land, you have your right article sheet. Just hold that to the side for a moment because we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to create a demonstration lab to help us understand objects in motion, stay in motion, which is what? Raise your hand. What is objects in motion, stay in motion? Newton's first law, also known as, Tara? The law of inertia. Excellent. And in this demonstration, we are going to be using a piece of plywood. We're also going to use a large marble. And we're going to use a small marble. We also have a truck with a trunk. And we're going to be using 4 books. May I please have un voluntario or un voluntaria? Okay, that is a volunteer. Come on, Hussein. And what Hussein is going to do, first, Hussein, go on the other side. Stay right over there. The first step is he is going to make a stack of 3 books and prop up one end of the ramp. Prop up one end of the ramp. Then he's going to place one book at the bottom of the ramp to create a barrier. Barrier means something that stops it. Then he's going to position the truck at the top of the ramp and place the small marble inside the trunk. Then he's going to release the truck and let it roll down the ramp.
Oh.
What happened to the marble?
It failed.
The marble fell out the truck when it hit the bottom of the ramp. Why did it do that? Don't tell me. Think about it. Now he's going to place the large marble in the trunk and repeat the same procedure. What happened?
Yeah.
It fell out the truck. Let's give Hussein a round of applause. How does this represent Newton's first law? Raise your hand. How does this represent Newton's first law? Donovan, get up. Michaela. An object that was in the way, which would be what part of Newton's first law? Deja.
An object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by another.
Okay, so the initial object that was in motion was the truck. What did the truck also put in motion?
The marble.
The marble, which could be actually representing of what? The marble could have represented what? Or who?
Anybody.
Anybody, people, right? So the truck put the person in motion, being the marble. It was in motion. What happened? Another object interfered, which was signified as our what? Force. An object in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by another force. So the truck and the marble were in motion. The book created the other force. Why did the marble fall out? Why did the marble fall out? Nope.
Because the truck hit the book.
So why did the marble fall out?
Because of the impact of the. You said it's a wouldn't move unless it acts on another force, and the other force was being hit by the book, and the book made the marble fall out.
So objects in motion want to
Stay
stay in motion. So why did the marble fall out? Because it wanted to stay in motion. All right. So in front of you, you have a sheet that looks like this. One second, Marcel. Now, we're going to write a short article, very short article, explaining and linking it to real life scenario. Because the only purpose of us learning all of this stuff is so that we can understand why things happen in our life the way that they happen. So, using the space provided that we have down here, we're going to write a short article about why seatbelts are important, using Newton's first law to justify it. Why would Sir Isaac Newton, be in favor of seatbelts? Why would he be in favor? Only Deja and Marcel are in here? What about everyone else? Barbara?
Because if you get in an accident and the car goes really fast and if you don't have the seatbelt, you're going to be flying.
Okay. What Miss Wiggins is writing?
You're right.
What Barbara said was, if there is an accident, she then said, you will get hurt if you are not wearing a seatbelt. Why? What does the seatbelt do for you, Adam? You have to find something. Get him. What does the seatbelt do for you? Excuse me.
Come get this paper.
Excuse me. You have to knock on the door to come into my house. Thank you. Goodbye. See you later. What does the seatbelt do for you, Kaya? So what is that seatbelt according to Newton's law?
That's the force that's not keeping
It's the force that stops you from moving because an object in motion will stay at motion. So basically, the seatbelt is the force that acts upon a moving object Hold on, I want you to do this first. So the seatbelt is the force that acts upon the moving object, which is, what's the people. Stopping you. Stopping the object, which is stopping the object, which is people from moving. Or flying out the windshield. Moving or hitting your head on the dashboard. Or hitting your head on the back of the seat. Or colliding into someone else. Notice when you do get in the car, and I'll say this while you're writing, and you go to put your seatbelt on, you can pull that seatbelt all the way until it can wrap around about 20 people, right?
Yeah.
But if you yank that seatbelt, what happens?
It
stops because it's creating the force that's going to stop moving objects. There is a pulley. That is a simple machine inside the car. So when the car jerks, that seatbelt knows to stop anything that's there so it won't go flying out of the car. Now some of you complain and say, well, the seatbelt hurts my neck or hurts my chest or hurts. I understand that. However, what will hurt more? You flying out the car. So you might need to wrap your coat up, put something there to kind of stop it from there. But you really do need to wear your seatbelts because Newton said so. Any questions? Is anyone still writing?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a moment. Milan, which word are you stuck at?
You know where people on the bottom row? I can't see that.
From moving.
From.
Are we good? Yeah. A lot of you should be already done because when Miss Wiggins is writing, I'm writing. It's not like it appeared in front of you. I was writing it along with you. All right. Now, what's the number one thing that you all like to do when you go to an amusement park?
Get on rides.
Get on rides. What's the favorite roller coaster of most crazy people? Which is a roller coaster. So most crazy people like to get on the roller coaster, correct? Right? So let me ask you this. When getting on a roller coaster, first of all, you're crazy because you're in the line and you're getting on the roller coaster. So you must be crazy, right?
Not necessarily.
No, you are crazy. Agree. Most crazy people deny it, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
So when you're on the roller coaster, you're walking in line, and if you're like me, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to get out of line right now. But sometimes you get in line and you get up to the front, and now you're ready to get on. Okay, so now we're on the roller coaster, we're sitting down. What's the most important thing we need to do?
Get on our seatbelt.
Seatbelt. And most roller coaster seatbelts do what?
Click. Pull down.
Pull down. Everyone pull your seatbelt down.
No.
Get your seatbelt on. Pull it down. Yes. We don't normally do a seatbelt like this because we're going on a roller coaster, and so we need to have it like this. Now, when the roller coaster is moving forward, you'll probably already peed your pants if it was me.
Yes.
If you're crazy, then you're sitting there and you're like, yeah. So you're going forward on the roller coaster, right? Now, when that roller coaster starts to go up
Oh no.
a hill, your body does what? Everyone do it. Go back. Your body's going back. It's leaning back. And you hear a click, 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 and now I'm crying.
I'm seriously crying. No.
And that, what is that clicking?
That thing when you go up.
Like the
track.
Exactly. It's the chain that's pulling the roller coaster up. Does the chain have kinetic or potential energy? Kinetic, because it's moving. Does the cart you're sitting in have potential or kinetic energy? Potential. It's the chain that's moving. So now you're holding on to your seatbelt and you're clicking and clicking and clicking and you're going up, correct? And your body is doing what?
Moving.
You're going back. Okay? Now you're all the way at the top. And you don't want to look over because you're high up. Right? Now let's freeze in time. We're at the very top of the hill. We're frozen. We're freezing time. So let me ask you a question. At that tippity top of the hill, does the cart have kinetic or potential energy? Potential. It means it still has the potential to do work. It still has some energy, but not yet. At that moment, when I unfreeze time, as soon as you're about to drop down that hill, what do your arms normally do?
Nothing.
Most of you do this, right? Me, I do this.
I do this.
Right? Okay, so now we're at the top of the hill. Not yet, but when that cart starts to fall down that hill, because that's exactly what it does. Does that cart have potential or kinetic energy?
My heart it drops down in my stomach.
Does that cart have potential or kinetic? Kinetic energy, because that cart is in motion. You no longer hear that click, do you?
No.
That chain is gone.
But unless you go to the second.
I'm talking about we're down the hill. That chain is gone, so that cart has now been thrown down the hill. So, you're at the top of the hill. Most of you do what? Most people do what? They throw their hands up and they close their eyes. And when you're going down the hill, as soon as you go down the hill, what does your body initially do?
Yeah, it goes down.
First, it pops up because you're up at the hill and your cart's being thrown, so your body pops up. And then your body does what?
Goes down.
Your body's going forward like this because you're going down the hill. Your hair's going back and your face is like this. And they take a picture and you're like, and you're looking crazy or you're crying like me. And you're down the hill and you're like, woo! And you're screaming, right?
No.
And your stomach feels like it's doing what? Falling out or getting enough. Because it has now been thrown into motion. A motion that it wasn't in before. You get down at the bottom of the hill and your body does what?
Goes down.
It backs up like that. And you're rocking all over the place. And if the cart turns right, your body goes left. And if the cart turns left, your body goes right. And then if the cart goes back up, your body goes down. And then it goes down. And you're all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And you think that's fun.
No.
So at this moment, you are about to enter a roller coaster ride. Put your seatbelts on. Remember how your body moves on a roller coaster. Remain in your seat. Hold on tight. There is an emergency button on the top of you in case you are scared, but that doesn't mean anything. It just takes a picture of you. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, this is not that bad.
No, not now.
It's not that bad.
No, why do we get to that top?
Oh, it's pulling a little bit. Your body's going back a little bit. Body's going back just a little bit. Oh, your body's really going back. We're going uphill. Oh my God, oh my God. Hold on.
You know what I used to do?
Talisa, you're on the roller coaster. Your body should be leaning back. Everybody's body should be leaning back. Donovan, you need to stay in your seat. You can't get up out your seat on the roller coaster. Leaning back, leaning back. Oh! Here we go! Woo! Oh! No, not that back. Oh, but body's to this way. And now your body's this way. And your body's going the other way. Oh, you're going down. And now you're back and you're down. And oh, I see everybody's moving. Everybody moving. You're on the roller coaster. And we're down. And we're up. And we're down. Oh! I'm crying. Up, we're going up, 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 up. Body's back, body's back, body's back. Body's back. We're going up. This is not fun at all. Look how high up we are. Oh my God. Hands up, hands up, hands up.
Oh, wow.
Oh! 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 Body's moving. Oh! 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 We're, oh! I'm crying. Oh! I'm crying. I'm crying. Oh! Up for you, body's back, body's back. Body's back, body's back. Oh my God.
I love that commercial. You turn, and you go down, and then up, and then
It's a
down,
long roller
and
coaster.
then down, and then sideways, and then up,
Down.
and around, and then
Question.
that is not funny.
What kind of energy right now does the cart have?
Kinetic.
Kinetic. Why?
Because it's moving.
Because it is moving, it is in motion, and it is going extremely fast. What makes this cart go fast? What if this cart was very, very... Oh!
Down. Oh, wow. We can't be talking. We gotta be.
What if this cart... Oh, here's a hill. Here's a hill. All right, that's fast. How do you think the makers of the roller coaster have to make the cart? Can they make it extremely heavy?
No.
It's a heavy cart because it is a car, but if they made it extremely heavy, what would happen? It would go really slow and it could break the track.
Because it's going to be people in it.
What do you think that they have to think of when they're making these hills?
The size of
They have to think of friction, yes? The size of the people, what else?
The weight of
The weight of the cart?
yeah.
Could they make a drop that is extremely deep and then another hill that's extremely high?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
What will happen?
They'll die.
That's a drop. What will happen that if right after that last drop, the next hill was very high? What would happen?
It won't go all the way
It
up.
won't go all the way up and you'll be stuck down in that bottom part because there will be not enough momentum and too much friction to actually get up that hill. Thank you for riding T-Dub's ride.
That was like how many minutes was that? Oh, that was, oh my gosh.
Still one time.
I know, it was still. It was like,
So let's think about the roller coaster for a moment. Donovan. Roller coasters, if you didn't know, like we just discussed, they're trains that run along a rising and falling tracks. The trains are pulled up to the highest point and then allowed to run down the track, and it's powered by nothing other than gravity, which is a force. So you go up with potential energy, that kinetic energy of the chain, and then after that, gravity takes control. So you have put your life in the hands of gravity, which I say that's why you're crazy. All right, if you look along the track, there's friction. Friction is trying to pull back. Gravity is pulling it down. The weight and the reaction, that you have an opposite and equal reaction, is what's causing all of this to go on. In an upward turn, the roller coaster is forced to change directions. So now you're going down and now you're forced to go up. That's because of gravity. That is why you don't have a deep fall and then a ride, a very, very high rise, and then another deep fall. It's not enough momentum. You have friction. Gravity is still taking hold of the cart.
And Carolyn just is right, and it goes like that. But it's two back to back.
Back to back because they put enough, they made it high enough but not too high to where it still has enough energy to make it cross that next loop. All right, That force when you're down at the bottom, that actually you feel your body kind of go up, that's called the centripetal force. Similarly, when you're going up that hill, that same force is actually pulling the track down. So that's why your body's leaning backwards. The size of the forces felt in the turns is what makes the roller coaster exciting to the crazy people. Quick turns in either direction will make the passengers feel heavy and cause a rush of excitement, if that's what you call excitement. Too much force will make the passengers sick. So if you had too many falls, then you could get off that ride very sick. Because it restricts your blood flow. Your blood is flowing in a certain way. Now you're telling your blood, do this, do this, do this, do this. And your brain is also doing that. And you could possibly get a concussion as well. The tighter the curve, the higher the acceleration. The curve is, that means you're going to be able to move quickly. The train will slow down slightly due to friction as it goes along the tracks. That's why you're moving along the track and your body's doing this.